Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Shift Up, where this is the show where we'll tell you exactly who will win the World Cup and why.
Switzerland, right?
Yeah, bro. Yep, Switzerland have the best opportunity. No red cards, no nothing. They'll be straight to the finals.
Yeah, I think Norway has a pretty good chance as well.
Yeah. But man, jokes aside, what a group of games, man.
Yeah.
Quarterfinals, I loved it, bro. I was here for all of it.
Sad to see some great teams go, but happy to see some great teams make it to the Final Four. For those who don't know, which I'm sure everybody listening does, this is the first time in history that the top four FIFA-ranked teams have taken up all four slots in the semifinals.
That's crazy, actually, to think about. Yeah, I mean, this is almost exactly like, again, as you were talking about people who watch soccer, like these are the teams that we honestly expected to be here. I think even both of our brackets that we did had this exact semifinal lineup. I don't know, man. I'm excited for it, and these are teams that do deserve to be there. They are the best teams in the tournament for a reason. So,
well, on that note, we might as well talk about how they got there. So France played Morocco in the quarterfinals. The score was 2-0, and Mbappe and Dembele scored.
Yeah, no surprises there. France is just on a roll, man, on an absolute roll. It didn't even seem like, obviously Morocco's a great team, but yeah, France continue to do it against the good opponents. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, unfortunately, much like last time, I think Morocco just kind of reached their ceiling of how well they're able to perform. I mean, it doesn't seem like they trusted anybody other than Hakimi for big moments, because as you can see throughout the match, he's kind of their main set piece taker, corner kick taker, free kick, everything. And it just didn't feel like there was enough from the other players. Even though they did play well, I just get the sense that they just struggled to play outside of their star players, I suppose.
Yeah, I totally agree. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you remember, but we had watched it. I don't think it was the last World Cup, but maybe the last Gold Cup where Canada was in there. The play style was all around Alphonso Davies. He did everything. He scored all their goals. And it just kind of seemed like that. It was like, okay, can someone else do something?
Mm-hmm.
But I think at the end of the day, it was a quarterfinals match and they just did the best they could. But you're right in the fact that they most likely just hit that ceiling. And France has so much more individual players if you just go player for player. I mean, France comes out on top every time.
Yeah, they may not have even needed Mbappe or Dembele on the field to put a couple past Morocco. I hope that France and Spain are going to be a really interesting game. Two top-level talented teams. We haven't had any word on what Mbappe's injury was from the French camp, but since I haven't heard anything serious, I'm sure that he'll be able to play some minutes for them in the next game.
Yeah, I mean, Spain being that team where coming into the tournament, everyone is like, okay, this team is for real now, especially with having Lamine Yamal in particular. There are obviously other players that had played in the last World Cup, but Lamine Yamal has definitely kind of made this team better and made this team play at a higher level. And I can't wait to see the matchup, just specifically, even if it boils down to possession, like how who dominates possession and how they do it and how they're trying to break each other apart. Yeah, so two incredible teams, and I can't wait for it.
Yamal for Spain against Belgium was pretty good. He had a lot of touches in Belgium's box and had several passes in the final third. I know that a lot of people see him as a bit of a more quiet player this tournament, which understandably so, because to my memory, he did not play in the first match, and he came on as a sub in the second. So he's obviously coming off of an injury in the latter part of his Barcelona season. But I think the value he's brought to the team has been pretty good. It's just unfortunate that he's such foul bait, and it's just kind of easy to get him on the ground. But he definitely provides value in a way that a right winger should. in this game. And sometimes he plays on the left too, which is great. It's nice to see somebody who's kind of comfortable, kind of switching and sort of sharing the load when something's not working, can switch to the other side of the field. I suppose Belgium was kind of unlucky with their main keeper, Courtois, going off due to injury. And unfortunately, we just saw a goal that has happened to multiple teams in this World Cup where a shot will come in from outside the box and then the keeper will not catch it, and then somebody else who's in the box times their run, and then it gets into the goal, which is really unfortunate, but Belgium put up much bigger of a fight than I thought they were going to.
Oh, absolutely. I thought so as well. I thought they played pretty good, you know? I mean, they're a top ranked team for a reason, Belgium. Obviously, they haven't been as consistent these past few years. Not as inconsistent as Italy, but you know, kind of here and there. Like they were one of the best, undoubtedly. Yeah, I just want to kind of piggyback on what you're saying about Yamal and the value that he brings. Even if it just boils down to dribble or his successful dribbles, he has the most in the tournament because he's always, trying to make something happen. And I can't get mad at someone for doing that, taking risks. I love to see it. And I love that we're seeing more of it kind of now. Like even Gordon in England's match, he was taking on people. Like we need more wingers that are just going to consistently do that from other teams as well.
How about those Marino super substitutions?
I don't even know what to say about that at that point. That's just, I mean, twice in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gotta start coming off the bench more often, I guess.
Yeah, for somebody who's not the engine of this Spain team, like Rodri or somebody else, he just really knows how to finish his chances. And I think it's always exciting to see him come on the field.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, coming from the dark days of Arsenal where Marino and Declan Rice were putting in shifts as striker, I guess that's probably paying off. I don't know.
Two somewhat controversial matches happened on Saturday the 11th. Norway battled England, which ended up going England's way 2-1, and Argentina beat Switzerland 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some controversial games so far. We've seen Croatia, Portugal, and Argentina again with Egypt. We've seen games like that. Watching the Argentina game in particular, I noticed a lot of good things from Argentina, and I also noticed a lot of good things from Switzerland. But there are some games where you just get a little bit lucky, and that's honestly part of the game, you know? Like Embolo, yes, that was stupid. Like that was dumb. Like it looks so stupid, right? And
Historians will never figure out what he was doing.
yeah, like you never know. Obviously people want to give him the benefit of the doubt, like maybe he hurt himself, you know what I'm saying? But that's an obvious simulation. And since the ref already gave a yellow, he has to give the yellow to Embolo because he already gave the yellow. It has to transfer over. So in that case, obviously it was a stupid error from Switzerland, but it fell in Argentina's way. It fell in their favor. Again, obviously Argentina has had a little bit of kind of a, I don't even want to say shaky defense, but it kind of comes on those counterattacks mainly. But yeah, just a little shaky in those areas. I think offensively and in the midfield, they pretty much had that game like wrapped up. But yeah, another controversial kind of game. But I do think that that's the kind of stuff that happens. A team kind of gets a little lucky and they win from it. I mean, there's nothing more else that I can say at least. What did you think about the flop in particular?
I am not entirely sure what kind of spurred the referee to ask for a check, or what spurred VAR to tell the ref to, look at the foul that had happened, but it's absolutely the right call. I know that someone has been booked for simulation at least once, to my knowledge, in US versus Paraguay in this World Cup. And so there's definitely precedent for it, but it just kind of goes to show how little like this is happening. Like people flop all the time, but something like that bad when you're at least a foot away from Paredes, but you just throw yourself down by the touch line, like that is super egregious, opposed to something like Mbappe in Morocco's box in that game. I mean, that's kind of where my line at simulation is, because there was contact with the defender. Just Mbappe just knew when to like time his dive so perfectly that the ref just, he was able to, I guess he got one past the ref and VAR. So
Yeah, and I mean that's also kind of part of the game. If you think of that as a good thing or a bad thing, I mean, obviously a little bit of simulation can steer the ref a sort of way. As long as that contact is heard by more than one person, it's almost always going to be a call. I also think that it made it even more stupid that there was no reward from that, because you dove pretty much almost in your own half. It's not like you were getting a goal from it. So I feel like it was just a bad decision, fell in Argentina's way. And yeah, this doesn't really happen a lot at all. But it's purely just because Paredes got a yellow for
Mhm.
it. If he didn't give a yellow to Paredes, Embolo would have probably still played.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, let's not forget that the card is not about simulation. It's about the card being given to the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
So if you flop to the extent where the ref gives the yellow to the wrong person, then that is where you can see that intervention and that check from VAR. Otherwise, in Mbappe's case, like, the ref didn't give out a card for
Exactly.
that foul. So there's no need to, like, he didn't give a yellow card to the defender and then, oh no, wait, I need to give this to Mbappe instead. But in the case of Paredes and Embolo, that was the situation right there. That's what mistaken identity is for, and then you get to the simulation call. It's a shame that Norway had to leave the tournament that way. I know people were very surprised by this Norway team.
Personally, Sorloth should have passed the ball. Not gonna lie,
That's probably the best thing you can say.
it's pretty much it. That was in a game like that, especially against England. We've seen them lock down. Obviously Mexico again, forcing, right? But England do honestly know how to lock down a team, especially when they're kind of back like that. And you're not gonna get many chances like that when England are up or when it's tied. Anything, you're not gonna get chances like that. And that was just a kind of a waste. And I didn't really see too many shots, to be honest, from anyone. Obviously, the goal from the winger was completely absurd. That was again. I mean, there's nothing. Hats off to him. What I'm saying, that it went in, so fair enough. Pretty much an unstoppable shot. I don't think any keeper's gonna react to
Extremely
that.
lucky.
Yeah, yeah. No keeper's reacting to that ever. Like, yeah. But I mean, props to him. But I just don't think they did enough attacking wise. Possession and wise, I think they did fine. Honestly, like they pretty much play around Odegaard, and they created a lot of attacking options and goal scoring chances. But at the end of the day, there were just some moments where I was like, okay, he could have shot there. Sorloth probably had another chance to score and he didn't score, or he didn't shoot the ball, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, it is sad to see him go out like that. But I mean, what a World Cup from them. I mean, they did really well. I
Mhm.
really love to see them. They pulled off, a huge win against Brazil, and I genuinely can't wait to see them in the next one. To be honest.
Of course, the man of the match was Jude Bellingham, scored two to send England to the semifinals.
Huh?
What do you make of the ball that supposedly hit the sky camera cable?
Well, I've seen. I told you about this before a little bit. I haven't really read too much into it, just because maybe a handful of people saw it. Like I don't. It clearly wasn't as big of an issue that really affected the outcome. I mean, we'll never know if it didn't hit the skyline. Maybe a Norway player would have got it or something like that. It's really weird to hear stuff like that. Especially
Mhm.
because we've had you know, it just kind of brings me back to kind of like how the Croatia game would have been completely changed if something like that would have like happened kind of, but it's the, flipped. It's the opposite way, right? Like they'll call something like that basically touching his hair and then it
Mhm.
touches the skyline or the cable and it, it doesn't even phase anybody. But I mean, at that time, like, I don't really know if it matters too much. I don't know how much of the trajectory of the ball changed. If it was something crazy, like the ball completely stopped, or if it was going 40 miles an hour and immediately went to like 15, like obviously they're probably going to say something about that. But I just don't think it was as drastic enough to get a call, to be honest. But I know some people saw it, but I for sure didn't see it. And even in the clip, it looks like that's the way the ball would have gone, even though it's probably not.
Yeah, personally for me, I feel like from the angles I've seen, it's kind of hard to tell how much the ball's trajectory was affected by the sky cable. But my thing is, when it happens, like none of the players seem to really react to it, like the Norway players, I mean, until after the goal is scored. And, if caught in the middle of the act and they're able to, do a check or whatever, like that is absolutely a drop ball, in the middle of the field where nobody really has advantage, right?
Yeah.
But it's just I feel like it's difficult to say just based off of the information that we have, especially since the information that FIFA released isn't really any help. Like how you were talking about the graph of the sensor, like, if it can detect two strands of hair, like why wouldn't it detect like an entire cable in the sky? So that is difficult if it was the correct call to do a drop ball and maybe England doesn't score from that. I mean, we'll never know, but I mean, sorry to the Norway players. Maybe if they had like caught it and were able to kind of react and stop the play for, people to check it, maybe it could have gone differently, but we'll never know. I mean, what if the Norway people defended better and Jude didn't score that goal at all, even with the ball hitting the cable? I mean,
Right.
that's just something we're not gonna know. But yeah, there's definitely that sense of that drop ball call. That's an example of a clear and obvious error rather than a minuscule uncertainty like the Croatia game. In my bracket, I expect Argentina to stop at England. So I would like to predict a Spain England final, but honestly, I don't think my callouts this tournament have been that great. How do you think it's going to shape up?
Well, my bracket coming into this was an England France final, with England getting their revenge and beating France. France does seem a little unstoppable, but I think England Argentina isn't going to be easy at all for either team. But I think England can kind of get the edge over Argentina, just in terms of, we were talking about like finishing is, it's not necessarily the main problem. It is kind of a problem, but if England know how to approach the game, I mean, Argentina has been shut down for like some halves of these last few games. So clearly people know how to do it, right? So it's just up to England and how they manage their team and who they put on different people. I think it can be a pretty much a lockdown game, but as long as England can make the most of their counterattacks, I think they'll have no problem scoring. But Argentina does have those moments where their individual players just do something magical. And so you can't really do anything about that.
Well, let's see what happens. Hey, you're probably looking at our end screen right now. The best way to support us is to like and share the video.
All the support means a lot. Feel free to join the Discord if you want to engage in more conversation,
Or follow us on Instagram.
or TikTok.
That's true, we do have a TikTok.
Yeah, we'll link it all in the bio. It's all in the Discord. Join up, and we'd love to talk to you guys.
See you in another week.